Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Lisa's Love and Light. Thank you all for being here with me today. I had a really busy day today. So that's why I am on with you now today, tonight, actually. Happy Friday, everyone. Thank God it's Friday. I look forward to it because it's time where I just listen to music and regroup. It's always so good because it helps me to regroup. So, okay, guys, adjusting the camera here. So, how was your week? How was everything, everyone? I hope everything is well and you're doing good and that this information is helping you. That's important. So, thank you all for being here. And newcomers, any newcomers here, welcome. Welcome to this channel. We talk a lot about healing grief, getting over difficult situations in our life that cause stress, anxiety, and grief. So, what's on my mind today is we're going to talk about, let's see, the importance to not overgive to a situation. And I was thinking about this a lot when I was driving home from work on this topic because actually this is something that is all of these things are personal that I talk about, but this hits home with me because this is something that I have a hard time with, and that's overgiving to other people, in situations. Just because I've had that problem all my life, just overgiving. Being generous is one thing, being generous and helping other people and, like that. But this is a situation where, you know, it's not an equal give and take. And I always had a problem with this, especially when it comes to relationships and people, not just being generous, but when others see that you're generous and they like to take advantage of that. I'm going to see how far I can ride this train, so to speak, and etc. and so forth. And I had to learn, which I'm still learning, it not to give too much. And when I see that a person is taking advantage of my kind heart and my goodness, then that's when I start to pull back. And therapy helps me a lot with that as I talk to my therapist, and we talk about some ways that I can do this, because I've gone through this. And you know one of the things people don't understand about me in general, some people do, but when it comes to just connecting with people and getting to know them, is that I can give to a situation, I can be funny and I can be there, supportive, all of that. But one of the things really that will really just make me just disconnect from someone is disrespect, and ungratefulness. I can't stand that at all, And when I decided to get on this journey of healing, it was because of a last situation like that where, I was given to someone who I really cared about. And that person was just eating it up, and they were giving breadcrumbs, not even, it was not a give and take situation. It was just a situation of me giving and that person being needy. And I'm just trying to help them because I felt like if I help you get from A to B, then everything could be okay because you can take it from there. But that person was never getting from A to B because They were not in my life because of love and because, oh, I care about you. They were there to take. And it got to a point where because I was always a type of person who feel like I can change a person for the better. And, my therapist had to work with me. He still works with me on that. Um, but I've gotten a whole lot better with it because no, I can't. I can't change a person. I'm not responsible for them. We all are responsible for ourselves. So I had to learn that I can bring the person to the water. I can't make them drink. They have to be able to do that. And the person has to want to do better, you know? And for me, it was hard. But what made it easier is that one night, you know how people, when they want to get away and do something else, they start an argument for no reason. And I have been really, like subservient. And what do you want to eat? You want this, you want that. I was just going overboard with it. And the person was texting and then decide to get up, start some argument and leave. And I wasn't chasing because, the old Lisa, when I was in my 20s, would do that. But the Lisa, even though I wasn't healing at that point, I wasn't chasing. I'm not chasing anybody. If you don't want to be with me and you want to go, I'm going to let you go. In fact, I held the door open and I was so pissed off because I'm like, because the sign of just starting an argument so you can run off and do something else. And the worst part of that to me, the disrespect, because I had um, went and got dinner and ordered a movie, and everything about getting up and doing that was so disrespectful. Because basically, what it said to me is that you ain't shit. Basically, and for me, that was it. That was it. Because I don't have to do anything for anyone but myself. So that was a hard lesson for me. But what it did, it brought out something in me. Like after that, I wasn't contacting, I wasn't doing anything because I was just, already almost at the end. And the topping on the cake was when, when we are adults, I expect teenagers, when they, how they have that puppy love and, oh, I'm not with you anymore. They text each other or whatever, and say it's over. Well, when I got an email a few days later that says I'm not feeling this at all, you know, and that this is over, and I'm reading this, and as I'm reading this, and I'm saying to myself, this we're supposed to be adults. Am I getting dumped by an email? And I was like, wow, really? And for me as a Virgo, I want to know why. Why? Oh, I'm not feeling it, blah, blah, etc. And that was the only thing. And I said what I had to say because I'm all, that's when I started to take the bull by the horns. And I said what I had to say about, the whole entire situation. And then I started at that point to realize you giving too much. Lisa, you giving too much. And I was like, okay, whatever. And that at that point, when that was done, I started to work on myself because I was pissed off. I'm giving and doing. I'm not perfect and I'm not making excuses for myself, but I'm just saying I was giving more, over giving, and the person was just throwing breadcrumbs. And when I got broken up with by an email, and I was like, really pissed off. I can't even explain to you because that should have been a conversation, a verbal conversation by phone or in person, whatever, but not shoot me an email to tell me this is done. And when I got that, it was done. So about 5 months later, you know, because I think this person really thought I was going to chase. I don't chase anyone. If someone doesn't want to be with me and I'm a good person, have a good heart because they're not feeling it. Okay, it's going to hurt me. Yeah, I'm human. But I'm not chasing anyone because I love myself. I love myself back then, but even more so after doing the work. I'm not chasing anything. What's meant for me will come to me. So when the person wanted to reconcile, and I'm like, that's not happening, whether on any level at this point, because if that individual didn't have enough respect for me to sit down and have a conversation, or even by telephone, I get a email, and I was like, no, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing any of this, and I started to really at that point work on myself. And, I shed tears, I was hurt and all of that. But I'm not going to get up and run behind anyone. One of the things when you start to love yourself, people, is you start to know your self-worth, and you don't deserve certain things, so you're not going to tolerate them anymore, because as you start doing work and loving on yourself, it doesn't mean to be in love with yourself, but to love yourself enough to know that you deserve somebody better than this. You deserve somebody who's going to give you an equal give and take, and who's going to respect you. Respect goes a long ways with me, whether it's a relationship, friendship, whatever. And when someone disrespect, I make mental notes of it. And if it continues, I'm out. I don't care what it is. And people think because when something comes to an end that you have to act out a character and you have to do all this crazy things. I don't. When I'm done with something, I get quiet and just I'm it's enough. People don't know how to take that sometimes. Oh, we'll talk later, etc. No, I'm done. And when I'm done, I just move on. Slowly, I go into that, where you have to heal and regroup and get through it. And that was at the point when I said I have to start healing, because that individual knew that I was still struggling with grief because of all the losses and stuff. And I shared some things. And then now I get this. And I knew I didn't deserve this, because I was like really doing everything to, within the situation, dating this individual. And when that happened, I said, no, I'm going to work on me for a while. I'm going to put dating on a back burner, and I'm going to work on me. And as I start to do therapy, and my therapist addressed these issues about overgiving, I had to go back to things in my childhood, and it made me realize why I was doing that. Because from the time that I was maybe 7, 6, like I said before, my mom was part of this religious organization. And, you know, the men grew basically. I'm going to keep it real. The men, you do what you're told. And if me, I used to ask a lot of questions, which used to irritate them, asking certain questions and etc. And then it got to the point where I started to just wanting people to like me. So I started doing extra stuff and over giving. To being generous is one thing, but just giving and giving. And hey, um, come here and hang out, to get people to like me. And that wasn't good because, if someone is not going to like you for you naturally, then everything else, doesn't matter. So I had to learn. I still am learning because I am a generous person. And when I have some people in my life, friends and stuff, I like to, you know, be generous. But there's a point in time where, if it's not an equal give and take, then it can't be done. And I'm still working on myself with that. I've gotten a lot better. And also learning how to tell people when something is bothering me. Because before I would keep quiet and just, it just keep it to myself, but it would be bothering me. So my therapist has helped me tremendously in this area. And I don't think I would really be doing therapy to this degree, like grief therapy and doing things to really work on myself and a child. But that last situation really pushed me into doing the work to heal myself. And I've come a long ways with this. But, I'm not perfect. And any mistakes and things I do, I have to know that, it's okay. And what I'm saying here to everybody is that as you go through this healing process, don't expect things to be perfect and don't be so hard on yourself, because you're going to have those good days where you want to just be outdoors and then you're going to have those not so good days. But as long as you are on the path and journey to try to heal these things inside you that feel broken due to grief and loss, and your inner child being shattered by grief and pain and trauma and anxiety and these things. Never allow yourself to stay stagnated or stuck in depression and grief and pain. you know it's important to take care of our mental health, because all of this is associated with our mental health. It takes a toll on it. And even though people say, well, it's been 2 or 3 years since you lost these people, they're not here anymore. And the loss is felt every day of my life, because all these people meant something to me. And when people say that, it irritates me because, especially losing a parent, you never get over that. You get through it. And the ways to get through it is healing, just therapy, talking to someone. It's always important to talk to a therapist, whatever state you live in. Google a therapist, connect with one, and also bereavement groups, the grief bereavement groups, because that helps a lot, you know, and, just take it one day at a time. And I wanted to talk about the overgiving because somebody out there needs to hear it too, because they may be in that same situation like I was, given and given, and they are not getting anything back in return. But because they want to have people in their life and not versus not having people, so they, you know, find a way to do that by overgiving. And I think that's what I was doing. And I've learned to love myself, and I'm not going to allow myself to just have anyone in my energy or presence, just not to be alone, because I learned that even though I'm not in a relationship at this time, I'm choosing not to be at this time. Not because I can't, but because I'm still healing. And healing is always going to be an ongoing thing. But right now, I'm comfortable with where I am. And as and I haven't really met anyone that I want to connect with at this time anyway. But I'm just talking about these things because, I had to face this about overgiving and, oh, look at me. But now, since I am in that space of self loving, I'm comfortable with myself, whereas I wasn't before. And it showed in the overgiving. And I'm comfortable with me because I'm in a space of self love. And once you start to heal these little things and um, that you have that makes you feel insecure, etc., you start to feel better. And as you feel better, you do better. And as you do better, you're in a space where you can be a testimony to other people. You can help other people because there are other people out there who may not be able to talk about these things like I am on this channel. However, they feel those things within, and this is why I do this channel, because so many people can show up here and whatever I'm talking about, whatever topic, it relates to someone somewhere, and they can hear the message and they can be uplifted and encouraged by it. And that's so important, because if I can do these things and take these steps and little by little get better, you can do it as well. And some of the ways to do that is these little things like taking baby steps, music. I listen to music all the time because music healed the soul, and it helps me. And just, I used to watch videos about trigger grief. I talked about this a few times back in some of my older videos because I didn't know that you could have trigger moments of grief until I lost my mother and my dog. And I would be out somewhere, I could see something, a picture, anything that reminded me of my mother, hear a song or see something, and it would trigger grief to the point where I couldn't control it. And so I started doing research on it so that I can learn more about it. And as I did, I talked to my therapist about it and found some ways, you know, to get better with that, like music, and find things that, are therapeutic: music, writing, puzzles, and, just doing things. Like, I belong now to a Facebook group where it's a group about the show The Waltons, and I interact with people there, and we talk about the different episodes. Little things like that helps me step by step, to feel better. And then I start to take care of myself, and then I start to remove toxic situations and individuals from my life, which was very difficult, and painful, but necessary, so that I can grow, expand, and do better. And I never thought I would be doing a channel on YouTube, but I know so many people are benefiting from the messages here because I've been receiving like comments and emails about, how it's helping you. So continue to be here and show up. Sometimes the messages will be brief and sometimes they will be long, and I will give always examples because I'm not a therapist of any sort. I don't have a degree in therapy. However, I'm a person who's gone through a lot of loss, grief, anxiety, and pain, and I talk about ways that I get through it because I'm never going to get over it, but I can get through it, and you can get through it as well. So please continue to show up here. Do not allow any form of depression to make you stay in a place of being stagnant and alone all the time. Please share this message with other people who need to hear it so that they can hear these messages and connect with the therapist. That's so important because the when you connect with the therapist, it's an outlet to talk about these things and find some effective ways to deal with the grief and the pain so that you can get through it. So thank you all for being here today, and thank you for being patient and being here. Please share this video with other people, because somewhere someone needs to hear the message and they need to be uplifted. So I'm always talking about turning pain into power, power into purpose, purpose into paying it forward to help other people. And this is a no judgment zone here. Everyone is welcome, as long as we're here to encourage and uplift. Share in the comment category how these videos are helping you, and hit that subscribe button and the like button as well. Thank you all, and everyone have a great weekend, and I'll see you on Monday. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.